Okay, so I finally got some time here to put just a quick video together and run through how I did the electronics on this setup. Just for a brief recap here. I'm going to set this up here, show what it is with the keys on. Radio, obviously, everything's on. Turn everything on here. Alright, so double light bars, LED headlights, strobe lights, front and rear, which double as turn signals. I'll show that in a second. And I'll shut off all the lights, turn this radio off for a second here. There we go. Okay. Now with the strobe lights on or off, I set this up to actually override for turn signals, whether I've got them on or off for the turn signal switch, which I have down here. So when I flip the turn signal on, overrides them, turns off the right side, flashes left side for left turn, obviously. Okay, and you can do these with any lights. These happen to be the Cobra T3s and Cobra Fusions with the 180-degree lens. I'll go through those in just a minute. Again, go back to no signals on, goes back to strobe. And when I go to the right turn, overrides it and does that to the right turn only. Now, I don't have to have the strobes activated to do the turn signals, so with the turn signals, or sorry, strobes off, I can still turn the turn signal on and it'll light that up by itself too. So it is independent. So how do we do it? All right. I'll start out with the basics of what I did here. Now there's many right ways to do it, so obviously I'm not saying this is the only way to do it. Everybody's got their own ways of doing things. This just happened to work for me. So, on general, you got, looks very inviting at first glance, but you have your power, constant power is this terminal, ground is this terminal, and this terminal here is going to be your accessories. So, first thing you think, oh, just wire up all the accessories to it, right? Yeah, that's what I thought. Until I wired up one one light bar, the upper one, and flipped it on and blew the fuse. Okay, so it's only a 10 amp circuit. 10 amps all together running through that circuit at any given point. So what I did, obviously replace that fuse, which is in here. If you blow the fuse is in here. And it is the accessory fuse right here. It's a 10 amp. Okay, so when you pop this off, you'll see it be a 10 amp in there. Okay, so what I did is I ran a whole separate power system to the front, and I did that with 10 gauge wire, power and ground to the battery. So 2 wires go through the console, which is wide open through here, easy to get to. If you pull your cup holders out, both your cup holders, you can actually reach through there, fish the wire all the way up and through, pop out your top console piece. This pops out also if you really need to get it out of the way, and you can reach right down in there, all the way down, grab the wire, run it through, come up. Now this looks like a mess, and I know that. I'm gonna get a bunch of wire loom and put everything together, but so this looks a little scarier than it actually is. But come through your power wires up here, and I run them into a fuse block. This is out of Blue Sea Systems. This is a marine fuse block. Kind of a nice setup. It's actually got a lock on it. This is your lock. Give it a squeeze, unlock it, open it up. Okay. So everything you need fuse power for actually can be run from your power sides here. These are your power bars on both sides. These are all your grounds. You can get this fuse block with or without grounds. I like having the grounds myself. You can run it differently if you choose. So then you got everything grounded through here, and your power wire coming in here. This powers up these two. These ground through here. So what you want to do then is you want to put first, put a circuit breaker in that setup. Okay, I have an 80 amp trippable circuit breaker, resettable. Do it as close to the battery as you can. If you have anything that goes wrong, anything shorts out, that's going to pop and save yourself a lot of headaches and possibly a big fire. So that runs from the circuit breaker, comes up to here. What I did, circuit breaker come up here. What I did is I put an 80 amp circuit breaker in here. I'm sorry, 80 amp relay from the circuit breaker. Okay, so you just interrupt the power wire. It's coming from the positive of the battery, positive to the circuit breaker, from the circuit breaker to the relay. Okay, and then from the relay to the power of the fuse bar. Okay, so you can forget everything you see here right now. All I'm doing is setting up the panel for power. So what I did is I set that relay up to be an accessory circuit right here. So with the circuit, with the relay activated for the accessories, I only have the accessories I want powered up off of that fuse block. So you notice the dash panel's not on. My wiper switch on off does not work when it's not running. You can see that. I set it up also so that the heater fan, notice you don't hear the heater fan going. That will only be on when I turn the key on. Now you hear it. Okay, well now Polaris has a time shutdown. I have the accessory switch on, which I have here marked as radio. Okay, but I got it on yet, so everything else is going to stay on. I'll put the radio back on here. So watch, it's going to kick out now. Shuts down the gauges, shuts off the dash, shuts off any accessories I don't want to run without the key on. But my radio is still on, and everything else that I have powered up to the fuse panel. Okay, so I'll go back. Shut this off, shut the accessories off. So I'll go through how a relay is set up. Now I've got a couple of them here. This is the 80 amp one. See how it's slightly larger than a 30 amp one. 30 amp ones, and these are, I love these things because, you know, 30 amp is overkill, but you can pick these up. I can get this to focus here. Okay, Temco Industrial. If you go onto eBay, you'll find these all over the place. You can pick these up. I picked mine up, 5 of these things for like $7. It was cheap. And they're a very good quality relay. I haven't had any issues with them, and I've used these things for a number of years. Never had one fail. So it's been good that way. This same setup for the 80 amp. Okay, and the same configuration. Notice how big the pole is though because of the extra power. So I'm going to cut the video here shortly for a 10-minute cutoff that YouTube has. I'm going to go through how those are wired up and how I did them in the system here. Catch you in a minute.